Hey, it seems like it, just you. So there's two, that's a bit strange. But anyway, I didn't really sort of post it up real early or anything, but there you go. And it's all happening here. And they've only been home 20 minutes. We've got Darren and we've got Dan. What's up? It's not much. This place is looking a bit lived in. Going to shut the door and turn the air conditioning on because it's stinking hot. Mark, good day. What's up, chat? Yeah, I don't know if there's much really to even see. Dan's here all up. He's in Lismore, I think. Is that right? Are you in Lismore? I don't know. Yeah. It's a stinker here. Anyway, just for Dan's benefit, I've got this sorted for you. There's David Berlani, I think. I can't remember. I never remember. Anyway, David. So, a couple of new keys. Peter, g'day. Didn't miss anything. Look at that. How cool is that? Except that it'd be better if it was bolted in the door. Probably. Jim, g'day. Going the wrong way there. There you go. It does work. It works the other way up too if you want to hang the door the other way. I did, I thought. Because like that side's probably worn a bit more. Yeah, it's about 40 here. 38 or something here probably. I think this side's a bit worn. I don't know which way the key's in, but in the door. But anyway, called in a favour and got to make the couple of keys. It's pretty cool. So this is the high security lock for the side door on the shed. So we got that sorted for the steam shed, and it works. So good job. Other knobs in the car. So it's not a quality security piece really. It's a bit of pressed up tin. It's got, honestly, it's got one lever in it, and it's got a tumbler frame and one lever. The key as such is not particularly, it looks fancy, but yeah, they're not much. Anyway, job's done there. That's one job done. It'll keep the possums out. It'll keep more than you think out actually, because it's a decent solid door and it's got a bolt in it, so you're going to be going with a crowbar to push it off out of the escutcheon plate. I think. Is that 3D printer annoying everyone? Can you hear it? Probably not. 3D printer's going. It's moved in here because Joe's 3D printers messes up with the harmonics and out on the bench. It won't hurt here. I think it's probably a really good spot for it. I would like very much to put a tin or a perspex screen up this side to stop the swarf coming off the lathe onto it, and with a couple of magnets on the side there or something like that. We'll think about that, but 3D printers here. I'm sure Darren it was. This one's, I could have cut a key for it if I'd had a blank, and I really never had time to make a blank, and I haven't got an assortment to choose from, so I just let him do it. It's cool. He owed me a favour. So we're actually printing. I will remind you, Dan. Excellent magnets for that job would be fantastic. I think I'll just put a piece of plastic up there. Maybe. I could make a frame here like this that hangs out this side a bit further so that the bench is a little bit bigger, and drop it down here and then screw a piece of plastic up there so that it sits on there and holds it all in place, which would be very good. Don't know yet, but it'd be nice to have something to stop the swarf off the lathe. The lathe's clean, which probably means it's been used. Projects we're working on. Here we go. This is ready to thread. I haven't machined the inside bevel on that yet, but I actually printed a spacer so that, because it's got a curved edge on the bottom. If you have a look, so it doesn't sit right down nice. They're the caps for the oilers. There's a nice 7/16 radius curve in there, which is a bit fancy. The other one's the same. So I've got them up to this stage, and I've got that one machined to there. Can't find the bits for this to operate this, so I'm going to 3D print them. They'll do the job. It's only for alignment and stuff. Good evening, Matt. Matt is in Canberra. You have to let me know what your movements are. Have a steam weekend for you. 9C sounds pleasant. Anyway, 3D printing a new universal for this. We'll put all this together and get it sorted. And then I can cut a thread on there. I've got a new thread cutting tool which may or may not be any good. There you go. So it'll probably do. Doesn't really come in real close there, but probably close enough. We'll see how that works. We'll attempt it with that. Get these threaded. They're 12 TPI, 1.5 inches. I don't think that's original, but it's not written on it, so that's what we're going with. Thread them to fit the brass bodies and put the taper in the front, in the middle, the counter bore, and these are finished. So pretty happy with that. That's one of the things I've been doing. Hey Stuart. Gosh. Got this sorted. If you've been following along, I'm sure you all have. Been trying to organise this. Which is a light or a lamp for the, basically for the running lights on the bowler, because the old gas lantern of this style of thing is a bit inefficient and very smoky and hard to keep it light and not particularly bright, and everything gets hot so you burn yourself, and there's a danger of catching fire if the tin, if this leaks and everything. You use the wrong fuel, or someone puts something else in it, or whatever happens. These are sort of okay, but they're a bit primitive. And there's one more thing to worry about. So we wanted to basically want a lamp, and this is the tail lamp. We want something that we can sit on the back of a trailer for a road run, or we can sit on the back of a caravan, or we can put on a barricade in the middle of the road for a road making display or something like that. So we want something that slides in there the same as that. So this one just slides in here like so. Want something that slides in there. We could put actual like light in there so you can see. Yeah, on a steamer or with fire and steam, it's much easier to have something that's least reliable, and you don't have to get off every 5 minutes to make sure it's actually still burning. That's where we're at with that. So, going to make some tin plates to slide in here like this, or probably aluminium. Just slide in there, and then we're going to put the battery and everything, and the lamp and everything in under here in a box, so that we can just switch it on and off, and we can press the button and see what voltage it's putting out and all that stuff. Be very nice. And at this point I'm doing the back one and the two front ones. So got these batteries, which seem to be really good on Dan's suggestion. They're safe to charge and all that stuff, a balanced charger and everything. Tea and biscuits, g'day. And we've got a buck conversion board. I'll plug that in. So decent plugs on here. I've got all that wired up. This goes in the buck board. This one's been running about a couple of hours, and it's down to 11.3 from 11.4. Press this button. It's telling it's, as you can see, that it's outputting 10.7, which is adjustable, but that's about where I like to. This is not a bad light in that it's very similar sort of light to the oil lamp, I think, and it's not too bright that the thing loses focus or it ends up shooting high beam out or shines out the cracks or anything. So it's quite good. If you hold this button down, that goes out, so you don't need the display if you don't want it. So hey Chirpy. So the other one is down to about 11.1, and that's been going about 7 hours. So I'd say it's got another 7 hours in it till it drops to 10.7 if that's how it works. So pretty happy with that. We could put this in here somehow, sort of. Don't think that's a particularly good way to do it, but if we did that, it gives us I'll turn the lights out and we can have a look. This is about 6 feet. It's a half decent tail light. I don't think that's terrible. Certainly an indication. It's not lighting up any of the room, but you certainly see it's there, which is better than it could with the oil lamp in it. Yeah, well, the door's not shut, Peter. It's as simple as that. You're going to get found out if you don't shut the door. So, next project with this. Yeah, well, that's right. If you can't see that, there's something wrong. And it's only really coming back from the pub at tea time and stuff that it might be necessary. But it'd be very nice. Anyway, that's a job well done. Pretty happy with that. Works fairly successfully, and we can make a decent box to put this in, mount this up where the lamp should go. Probably leave some holes so that this is readable and so you can access the button. Put a switch on this so we can switch it on and off, because it looks like it's going to last longer than one run. So rather than unplug it, which was the original idea, I'm going to put a switch here, double pole, double throw switch here in the line, and have that in the box as well. So you can just reach in and flick the switch on or off, and it works. So that's coming together nicely. That's going to be all right. It's been a bit of a task getting it there, but I think that's going to be great. Not right on the boiler. That's the thing. They're out on the front roller, and it's right on the back on the tender. So at this point, that's the thing. Nice to have a lamp that you can take off and go and check something or. 3D printer bracket. I think I'm going to fold up a bit of aluminium. Do a decent job of it and make something nice that looks a bit like the lamp. Don't know, we'll see. I might 3D print them. Not sure how that lasts long term either. It's all right. I might 3D print something. Going to make an aluminium plate and put a hinge lid on it, whether it's 3D printed or whether it's fold up aluminium. Probably 3D print top and an aluminium surround or something. William Henry, g'day. Don't know, but we're still working on that. That's a design process. We're getting there. New addition to the pump, but that's about all I've done. It's a bit slack. Well, that's probably a fair point too, Jerpy. We've got plenty of brass sheet here. Yeah, tan biscuits, too many lights is a bit of a thing. I like to keep it a bit authentic, but we'll see how we go. Dan gets his way, we'll get fairy lights all over this thing. Don't know if this is really the answer, but the problem with this pump, right, one of its inherent design flaws until you look at a drawing and discover that it hasn't been properly made, is that this primer tap, yeah, it goes this way, so it aims straight at the driver, right, just here. That's the correct way. One of the inherent issues of this pump is that this is right under the front of the steering wheel. And when you prime the pump, which is more frequently and it's worn out, you get basically a jet of water up on your chin, more or less, sort of, if you're not careful. It doesn't actually happen, but it might. So the actual tap had an elbow on it, and this is a bit too fancy, but it'll do for a bit. So we've got that done. Haven't bolted this up yet because I haven't ground up the elbow. This weekend's been a bit full on, This arrived, oh crap, which is a bit of 41.8 or inch and 5/8 brass. Yeah, Dan's good holding his hand over it, apparently. For some valve seats for the pump and some valves. So that wasn't real cheap actually, but we've got it. And going to try and get them back to the drawing as much as I can. So there'll be some form tools involved in this. Shouldn't be a big deal. We'll get these made up with a decent seat on them. This is hammered. See, it's been stretched out over the top and over the inside. So this seat's quite a bit wider than it was originally. And it's pretty well hammered. And this one's got a, you see, it's got a ridge in it. Around there. So this is quite a bit worn here. Like quite a bit worn, I'd say. Probably 30 thou, so maybe more off there. So we'll make them with the conical seat and everything the same as this, and the same shaping inside. Get them right because we know that works, and if we're going to do it, might as well do it properly. So that's a job for probably next weekend. So make a good start on that. At least get the seats done. Get the seats in and then start the valves. I might get Joe to CNC these bits. We'll see how we go with that. That's a bit more tricky, but these are easy enough. And they've got a hole in here. And this bolt here, which we've already made one of, that basically it locates in the side of the seat. It's this way up, like so. Stops it turning, lifting out, all that stuff. So yeah, you could get a bit of tin and paint it bright yellow with 5 fingers, like a bit like a trafficator arm on a 1960s bus, and put like a bit of 20mm square tube with a long arm right across the front middle of the roller so that it attaches to the back corner. No, we'll just put an elbow like it's supposed to have. Make a radius cutting attachment. Could just probably what will happen is that I'll prop this out in a drawing and step it 10th at a time and change the length of your cut until we get sort of roughly the same shape, and I'll finish it up with a scraper. That's the easiest way to do that because it is a conical shape, sort of. Don't know how actual round it is, but that's what I think I'll do, and then just finish it off with a graver on the front and do the same with this one. Put a drill in the middle and then just the same as I did with the tops of the oilers, and just work out the distances and cut them in. You end up with a nice profile. It's fairly easy to clean up. I think that's what I'll do with them. It won't take much to do them. Joe's sitting out there with a big CNC machine, so maybe that's an option too, but it probably won't be. It's usually quicker just to make them. These are the right size. So 5/8 Whitworth spanner fits them, which is really nice. Not that they've ever got to come off once they're on, but that's a plastic top on this one still, but that one's all together. It's got a spring in it and a knob. That'd be really nice. This one's got an oil tube in the middle of it, and it's got a spring which is borrowed from a pop-up sprinkler. Just get down the park and unscrew a few to find the right one. And that's got a plunger like that, which fits in a cone on the bottom of this, which has still got to be put in. And then that's threaded in place there, and that'll be fantastic. That'll be a really nice thing to have done at some point. Really nice. So these are all projects that are coming together slowly. They're starting to come together. There's pictures on Discord, and I did have a bit of a mess around this weekend, and quite a bit of a mess around. And I went up to the foundry on Tuesday, and we had a bit of a... We didn't do much, actually. We didn't actually pour metal. We sat around and drank a lot of coffee, and we talked a lot of crap. Well, it's more ethical to do that, Dan, than to go to Bunnings and pinch the springs out of them and put them back on the shelf, I think. I don't know. It's a tool, sort of a... I don't know. It's a bit sketchy either way, but no, pop-up sprinklers were $4.20 each or something at Bunnings, so I bought 2 of them when I found the right one. Chucked the rest of them out. Did actually chuck the rest of them out. Sort of made a good start. Actually did some CAD work. That came out really nice. This is a bigger one than what I actually used, but that came up really nice. It's the Launch logo from the 60s with the ring around it. So I actually printed this about 60%, 70% or something like that for the actual job. I've got a piece of aluminium cut and bent up and looking pretty good, and I've 3D printed a pattern for the... Yeah, you don't want stainless in them. You're right, Chirp. Oh, the spring, I think they're stainless. They're pop-up sprinklers, and of course they're stainless. I haven't tried a magnet on them, but they're full of oil too, so it doesn't matter, and I bet they weren't stainless originally. We'll see how it goes. You can make your own though quite easily, but for $4.40 you sort of just go and buy a sprinkler. So I've made a good start, and I left it up there because we didn't cast anything, and Dallas is going to have a bit of a go at it, probably on Sunday. But I've cast a surround to go around the bottom. I've got a piece of 2.5mm aluminium sheet that goes around it and sits up about this tall. It's cut out at the back nicely with a bit of shape in it. I'm going to TIG that in place on top of the surround and screw the surround down. And then I'm going to TIG a wire edge, like a 5mm wire or something, around the top. We'll get someone to do it. And then we're going to put the plate on the front with 2 plug welds in the back. And give it a coat of green Launch paint and polish the edges. And probably, no, I'm not sure about rivets. We'll think about it. And that'll be a very nice thing to have there around those belts. Be very happy with that. Should be excellent, and it'll look the part, and it'll look like it's part of it. And it'll stop things when they fall out. The drill's falling off the back here and falling down that hole, which is a bit of an issue. So that's the job. So next week I'll probably have a lot more of that to show you, but this time I just left it. I think it'll be nice, but it'll just be aluminium like this one with polished edges, very similar. So it should look pretty decent. I wanted something that's in keeping with the rest of it. I also messed around in CAD, and this is a bridge too far, but making a frame down here, probably with plate, something like this on here, hangs down for the pedals. I don't know what's going to happen there, or how that works, or whether we make them electronic and solenoids, or whether we actually actuate them with levers or ropes and pulleys or whatever. But that at some point this year is going to be a project, is to put pedals on there. I hope you listen, Stuart, because I'm going to have to come and get that box. There we go. And that's got to operate this shaft along the top here. So, don't know. That's all stuff that's probably all procrastination, but it'd be fun. And it'd be nice to have like a two brackets down here. I'm thinking I might just make a steel frame, like 2 bits of nice architectural section or something, RHS, with a panel in it that actually screws in place in cast aluminium with Lorch and a, don't know, thinking about that. But something a bit decorative and nice. Whether it has a cutout of a something from a catalogue or a picture of the German scene or something like that. That's what I'm... scenery scene or something cast into it. Maybe something like that. And then 2 pedals down the bottom. And whether we actually put a solenoid system and a set of switches behind there to operate them, which I don't think it's got the same control. Maybe it does. And whether we put solenoid box up here, or whether we actually run like a pulley and a wire rope down through there and under the bench and across there and down to there, so that when you push that, I don't know yet. We could epoxy it. Yeah, I think we might do it in aluminium. I don't know. Could do it in brass. But I'm open to ideas on this, and I will remember. But I'm listening. But I want something that acts as a guard for that motor and belt, and something that comes off reasonably easy if we've got to adjust anything. And something that mounts the pulleys on the back. And I don't know how we're going to make it work, but anyway, that's very cool. So that's the other thing. We didn't really expect to get off on that tangent, and I apologise. Some bits for inspiration, righto, Dan. Now, we also spent quite a considerable amount of time on Tuesday talking about this. Oh yeah, Chirp, I saw that. Yeah, that's well worth a look. Past makes. Yeah, righto. I hadn't thought of that. I see where you're going with that. I'm going to watch that again. You could do pneumatics. You've got to have air compressor then, or air cylinder or something. I don't know. Might be, that's another way we could do it. We're still thinking about it. But we've given this some thought. It's not a fun casting on any level, right? And there's not a lot to play with as far as volume on the inside, right? They're pretty straight, solid edges, but we can get away with that because if we make a core box for this one, it sticks out about 1 inch and all the way through to here. All the way through. Then we can make sodium silicate cores and we can make 5 of them. We can chop them off, or we can chop one in half and use it for the other 2 or something like that. Probably we've only got to cast 1 for here, 1 for here, 1 for here and 1 for these 2, something like that. You're going to fit a piece of pipe in here. You're going to make get a piece of nice steel pipe and use that as an alignment jig up through the middle and the core as well, so the brass doesn't actually stick to it. And we're going to print this pattern in a couple of pieces. We're going to put draft on the outside, right? A little bit, not much, just a little bit on the outside, but all these surfaces here we can put draft on. Right, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. We still got to put some round corners on here because I don't think we did. Well, we didn't. So the way to do it is to cast it in 2 bits. So this bit and TIG weld them up later. Or TIG braze them or whatever. And make this bottom half of the casting, or this top half of the casting, if we do it in a bell box in 3 paces, and ram this one nice and solid, like if we split it here, then ram this down pretty hard into the box, right? That works. And then turn it over, set the piece of pipe in it, in the middle to line it up, and sit this on top, ram the outside of this one into this top box or the middle box, and then make another piece which is the bottom half of this with some stick out protuberances the same shape as the cores for a core print, and mould the top box on top of that. Then we can put the top box down first, sit the cores in it, sit the next one over the top of it, then sit the cores in it, put the top one down on top of that, and we'll probably have some copper wires running through the cores here to keep everything from moving, and probably a copper wire running in a circle around the cores as well. Drill some holes and put that through, and that way when we take the cores out, all we've got to do is get in there with a chisel and chop all the copper wire off. That's a pretty complicated, like a really complicated casting. This one we'll probably cast first, and we'll put a ring on this pattern around the top, so that when we cast it, it's got a ring round underneath it to pour into, and then all we've got to do is chop the pieces out. And we'll have a core box for this, a proper core box, and put a core in it. and we should be able to cast this fairly easy. I can put a bit of draft on these, I think. Yeah, we're thinking about it yet. A sodium silicate core in the middle will probably do the job too, but if we do it in 3 parts, there's a bit of an alignment issue. But having said that, there's not going to be anything in this bottom half to align anything to, because none of this will be in here, because it's just going to have the holes filled up with cores, and probably a core in the middle. So if we make a core print, we can sit this one down in the middle, and we can sit it up through this hole on the top with a core print on top. So you're probably right, Chirp. I haven't really thought this through as much as we're going to. I'm going to sit down and recad this first and then start thinking about it. But sodium silicate cores, and we will see. But bit of an interesting job. We're only going to put probably 1 degree draft on it or something, so that it does actually, when you wrap it, it does actually come loose when you lift it out 1/4 of an inch, so that you can withdraw it. This one, this half, and this half. I reckon that, hey Paul, I reckon that this core, if we make a core in the centre, which is probably better, make the whole mode from sodium silicate sand. That's, you got some thoughts on that? Yeah. Maybe. Chirp. I think we can pull it off with sand cast outside and cores in the middle, and then pour it this way up into the bottom. So run a gate down the side and into the bottom, and pour it so that it fills this way, and hopefully we don't have chill, because if you pour it the other way, you've got these big plates in here, and when they're cool, yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, one step at a time, and it's going to be a job for this year. It's not going to be a job for next month. There's a bit of work in this. At some point I'll have it. Chirp, that'd be much appreciated, because I think so. There's a lot of volume to fill before it starts to solidify, that's right. But there's a lot of very thin panels in here that are going to cool the brass as it goes in. Darren says, what is it? It's a whistle valve. It's a whistle bell. Anyone can tell that. I find that brass will cool pretty quickly if you've got a sharp corner where it comes in. You've got brass coming in here in the sharp corner. You're going to find that it doesn't, you're going to end up with cracking and stuff where the sharp corner is. But I think we can pour it all in one piece. Darren, for those who come in late, with an asterisk for the ghost who walks, which is important. This is where we're at with this project. Holy crap. Why did we even start this? Right. That's a good point, Chirp. So, this is the bowl for the whistle. There's other castings. There's a casting in there. When we get our thread cutting up and running, I'm going to finish this. But there's a valve goes on the bottom with a thread and everything. and a lever. And then there's a reed plate goes on there. And then this casting, when it's all welded together, goes on here, like so. And we've got 5-chime, decent little 5-chime steam whistle, which should be great. Should keep everyone's neighbours awake. Coffee cup for scale. Anyway, it's one of those projects. Not sure how we're going with it. The other thing is to get a piece of 6-inch nominal bore pipe and cut slots in it, and then laser cut all the pins and put in them and put plates in the top and tick it all up. Hopefully it's not too high pitch, Paul. I'm sort of thinking it's going to be fairly low. It's got 5 chimes, and this one here is, it's 10 inches tall. So it should give us a pretty decent tone, I hope. That's right, Chirp. It would be funny, Tea and Biscuits. It's got a decent valve on it. Pretty impressed with the valve design and everything. I don't think there'll be any problems. That's got a steel stud goes in the bottom there. That's one of the next bits. I can do that sort of while I'm procrastinating. But the thread's in there. It goes up through there. And then there's a nut that goes on top. If we look over here on the floor, where's something I prepared earlier. This goes through here, and then there's a nut on top like that, down the bolt to hold it all together. So, still a lot of work in it, but it will happen. This is a Northern Pacific Railway chime whistle is the design. Hopefully we won't be too far off that by the time I cast it, and it should get the that Northern Pacific or Nathan 5-chime mountain railway long and lonesome sound, like yeah. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's going to have a bit of volume as well. That's what we're looking for. Sort of half-heartedly. But that's the whistle. That's what's happening with that. This has been a bit of an epic project. I've been working on it for a bit. These are all pretty nice castings, actually. It's the chime plates all machined to size. This piece here is cast separate, and that's TIG brazed in place there, and this is cast in 2 pieces and machined up. That would be awesome, Chirp. So it may be a complete failure and we won't be allowed to run it, and we'll just donate it to Clinton. I think might be the best deal. And if we do that, then everyone will get their money's worth. What happened to the harmonograph? It's here in a box. Timber's still also here somewhere. I've gone to a place that hasn't got anywhere in living room really for such a tool. So I'm kind of shelved that until there's a place to put it. Anyway. So working on that. Our 3D prints getting there. What, with 49%, something like that. Halfway. And that's 100% infill too, so it's a pretty solid piece. But this is a universal for the gear cutting attachment. I may go with this because I've got one cast made a little bit bigger, and it's a really good thing. I tried to put a spanner on it and break it, and it's really solid. Really impressed. It's the Mark II or 3 or 4 something design for the universals for the radio control car I built. So these are scaled up a bit, but I've made it this time so it actually fits this machine, and this will get me out of trouble to cut these threads, and then we better do something about fixing it. So it's yeah, we've got too many projects that are quite a thing now, and that's the thing, is everything's sort of, it's a bit like that, to be honest. What else? We've got an issue with the roller. I don't know if anyone's seen that. Probably everyone's seen the pictures. Maybe you haven't. Put this away. By away, I mean out of the way. Speaking of epic projects, so that's still burning brightly, hasn't dropped anything in voltage. That works pretty well, I'm happy with that. We've got a problem with the roller. Now I should have thought of this first and found somewhere to roll this out, because I could have stuck it on the back of a board or something, because this isn't really going to work. I'm going to put all this down so we don't knock it off. I've only got to unroll half of this. This is the front forks of the roller. I was just, if you followed Mark's Shed Talk, you've seen all these bits, and I think this is identical to his. I really don't think there's much difference in it. But on my roller, this has had an accident here in the top. I don't know when, but it's quite some time ago. And someone's welded it up with a nickel electrode around the outside or something, stainless or whatever, and it's all broken out around here. This is lost feed. Sorry guys, I'm back. I don't know if anyone's still here, but phone went flat. So we've got bad audio again. I apologise for that, because we've got to unplug the audio to plug the charger in, which is why we never had it on charge anyway. Anyway, where were we? This is all broken out around here. There's a piece of steam tube through the middle here, right, which is quite heavy wall, like it's 10mm wall, something like that. It's a pretty solid bit of stuff. And this is all broken out round it because it's had some foreign weld material on top of it, and then over the last 40 years it's just broken. So when you take that cover off, which sits over the top, you discover that this is all pretty friable and pretty ugly, and someone's had a couple of goes at trying to fix it, and they put a washer under it and all sorts of things, and it's a bit ugly. So we need to fix this at some point, probably before the big road run in August. That's what I'd like to do. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but that's what I'd like to do. What happens is that this particular fork, right here, which is 2 foot from the centre to there, and it's about 4'8" wide, something like that, and it's about 11 inches deep across here. It's hollow casting, and it's got this lump of cast iron on it that's 6 inches diameter and 4.5 inch further up with a bit of 1.25 pipe. It's thick wall, like 1/2 inch thick wall or something, all the way through it. This weighs about 1/2 a tonne. So you've got to jack the roller up, which is attached to the boiler, 3 inches, 4 inches or something, and drop this axle out, which is this piece here, which goes through here, and roll the rolls out, and then drop the fork down. Bring this home, fix it, do a bit of a job on the top there, put it back together, put the pin in it, and then start looking at the rolls and see how bad the bushes and things are in them, and whether we're actually going to fix that, or whether we're going to leave it for another day, which we might. We pull it apart and they've only got 8 to 3/6 of an inch of wobble in them, and they look all right, and we clean up and paint them. I don't think that's a job we might do this time, but if they're really badly worn, I guess we put new bushes in it and call it a day and put it back together. If we don't have to do this axle and bushes, which would be really nice, we're going to take these rolls, which are 3'6" diameter and 2 foot wide, and also weigh 1/2 a tonne each, 2 of them, up to Toowoomba and get some rubber put on the outside. That's a fairly capital expenditure, but that and the combination of those 3 jobs and a coat of paint will basically finish the front end, and we should never have to touch it again ever. They're all things that should have been done originally. Anyway, so that's the job there. But there's a lot of other bits to come off it too. It's a matter of dropping the steering out and the side plates and the pins out of here, and then taking the axle out and getting this actually out. It's a bit of a job. So that's where we're at with it. So I don't know when this is starting, but it better be pretty soon. Get in and have a bit of a go at this and get at least this part fixed. That's what I'd like to get fixed. You take care, Chirp. Get some sleep. Or whatever happens. So this is all the side plates, everything there, how they all fit together for Class DNA road rollers. It's drawing September the 4th, 1925. So this is something else that's happening. I'm trying to find someone who can actually machine this piece, the forks. And when we get that machine down to the diameter of the pipe, machine this back to the diameter of the pipe here and down to about here. We'll put a keyway in each side. Then we'll make a steel block to go over it, a cylindrical steel block or a tube to go over it, sit down on it nice with a couple of keys in it, and we'll put 4 decent bolts down through the top. And the pinhole, job's done, fixed. Ain't going anywhere. Take care, Darren. Everyone's going, so might call it a night too, but appreciate you all tuning in and letting me bounce my stupid ideas off you, because there's a lot of them. I say a prayer for poor Dan, who's got to put up with this crap in his backyard. But we are starting to come together. It's getting there. Thanks, David. Take care, Stuart. I'm probably going to wait for this print to finish. It's at 60%. So I'll be on Discord for a bit or on Facebook or whatever if anyone wants to chat. Have a fun day in Lismore again tomorrow. Fridge. Whatever anyone else is doing. But that's where we're at and that's what's happening. So I'll call it a night. Take care and more soon, eh?